From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Good morning, security gang. Happy Thursday and welcome to an exciting show, the CyberHub Podcast. We've got a packed show for all of y'all today. We're going to get right into the latest cybersecurity stories and what they mean for practitioners. But before we do that, we have a tradition here on the show. Every morning to kick off the show, kind of get us going, right? Because I try to give you the most amount of news I can in under 15, 20 minutes, right? That's kind of like the sweet spot. I always go over, like general rule of thumb. It's because I want to spend time with y'all on the intro and not just be a machine reading the news. So with that being said, we have a tradition. That tradition is our espresso, and I have mine this morning. So join me in powering through this morning's show with whatever beverage you choose. I know some people drink tea. I don't know why, but you do. Some people drink iced tea. That to me sounds even grosser than actual tea, although I do enjoy a cup of tea every now and then. Some people drink black coffee. I'm not going to judge you for drinking black coffee. That's okay. You haven't had good espresso yet. I have. I love it. Coffee cup cheers, y'all. Espresso in the morning, just best thing on the planet. All right. We're going to start off with some great news this morning. Great news and news that also reflect the disturbing nature of the internet and of human behavior. One of the largest platforms to host, share, and stream child sexual abuse material, KidFlix, was shut down just last month following a joint action coordinated by German law enforcement as well as the European Cybercrime Center. The operation was dubbed the name Stream. It was a joint international investigation. It was led by the State Criminal Police of Bavaria and the Bavarian Central Office for the Prosecution of Cybercrime. The joint operation was also supported by Europol analysts from the European Cybercrime Center, analyzing thousands of videos. Unbelievable. Providing evidence to facilitate the investigation. I got to tell you, this one, if you have kids, this one hits home, right? Good morning, Diamond. Thanks so much for tuning in on LinkedIn. So this one hits home. So in cybersecurity, we often, I've talked about our CAPE syndrome. We have a superhero CAPE syndrome in cyber. This is one of those cases where you want to put on your CAPE, right? So Operation Stream started in 2022. So far, only 79 people have been arrested. My guess is it should be a whole lot more. 1,393 suspects were identified, and over 3,000 electronic devices were seized between March 10th and 23rd of 2025. Listen to this number. That doesn't mind, like if that just doesn't shake you, I don't know what will. 1.8 million users worldwide logged into the platform between April of 2022 and March of 2025. The site had 72,000 videos at the time it was seized by German and Dutch authorities. Some of those arrests not only uploaded and watched videos, but they were abusing children themselves. According to the Dutch National Police, information about the suspects was shared with investigation authorities in 35 countries who had official warning conversations with them between March 10th and March 21st. Many of the suspects identified during Operation Stream were cross-referenced with Europol's database, showing that a large portion of those involved in child sexual exploitation are often repeat offenders already on law enforcement radar. I mean, absolutely horrible. KidFlix hosted 91,000 different unique videos with total running time of around 6,200 hours. I'm not feeling this, right? Like, I'm leading with the story because yes, cybersecurity and vulnerabilities and all of that stuff, it's all really, really important. I get it, but there's a human factor. There's a level of an ounce of humanity in all of this. These are kids that are being sexually exploited, the content being posted online, trauma that they have to live by countries, parents that allow this to happen, predators, convicted predators known to law enforcement still doing it. Um, and it's absolutely disgusting. In February of this year, law enforcement agencies from 19 countries arrested only 25 suspects linked to a criminal ring distributing AI-generated child sex abuse material. During Operation Cumberland, investigators identified 273 additional members of the criminal network and seized around 173 different electronic devices. If there's anything that we can talk about as an industry, it's child sex exploitation, right? Like it's got to be. Like that's got to be something that's a no-brainer for any and all of us. This isn't even a debatable issue. Abusing kids, innocent children, and then posting that material is wrong, statefully wrong. Anyone convicted of this should be ostracized. This is the one place where I go, castrate and send him to jail for life. Castrate, send him to jail in life, put him in Gen Pop, and let nature take its course. Absolutely horrible. I'm sorry to kick off the show with these news this morning, but I couldn't just ignore it. I couldn't just kind of skip over it at the end of the show. I feel like this is something we have to highlight. We have an issue online with this kind of material, and it's got to be taken care of. And maybe we need to recruit more people to help identify these predators and these websites and these dark web marketplaces and take more and more of them down. Now let's get to some actual cyber news, I guess. Keeping secrets protected on GitHub is getting easier courtesy of new capabilities. But last year, 39 million secrets were leaked online across the platform in GitHub, clearly showing that inadvertently exposing secrets in code happens rather often. Threat actors are known to harvest and exploit them within minutes of this happening. To help organizations, GitHub is now offering secret protection and code security as a standalone product for enterprise customers. There's also third-party products that go along with that, but 39 million secrets tells you that we have a real problem in code development in how we tag secrets and how these secrets are exposed. That requires either the use of traditional tools that exist or third-party tools that will give you better visibility. So GitHub's only addressing secrets. You typically want to have an entire secret management platform. Gartner may try to call it an NHI, non-human identities. And there's companies that do that. There's secret management platforms that are also very effective, but it just shows you that the adoption for these platforms is desperately needed in the developer community, and you want to build something that the developers can use right off the bat. Let's get to our next story this morning.
There is a security breach.
Apparently, the Royal Mail is investigating a claim of a security breach after a threat actor leaked 144 gigabytes worth of data allegedly stolen from the company's system. When asked to confirm the authenticity of the leaked data, a Royal Mail spokesperson told Bleepy Computer that the British Postal Service is aware of the incident. A third-party data collection at Spectus GmbH, which is their third-party data collection and analytics service provider. They're now working with the company to investigate the issue and establish what impact this may have regarding their data. So all in all, this looks to be like a third-party data breach. Spectus GmbH has been the target of an ongoing cyber attack since March 29th of this year, so just about a week. According to current status, unauthorized access to systems and personal customer data occurred. The exact scope of the incident is still under the subject of intensive forensic investigation. The threat actor behind the leak uses the name GHNA handle on breach forums, released 16,549 files allegedly containing Royal Mail customers' PII, including names, address, planned delivery dates, and more. Some confidential information as well. The leaked documents also include a MailChimp mailing list, data sets containing delivery, post office locations, even a WordPress SQL database for mailagents.uk, an internal Zoom meeting video recording between Spectus and the Royal Mail Group, and even more. So the breach started with using stolen credentials. There you have it, folks. Stolen credentials. You don't have MFA. When someone steals your credentials, it's bound to do that. All right, so my screen's a bit off center today, so this is going to be the case for the rest of our stories. A native tribe in Minnesota says a cyber attack knocked out a healthcare and casino system for the Lower Sioux Indian community, warning residents yesterday that a cyber attack was causing disruption to some of their local healthcare facilities, government center, and casinos. After days of reported outages, a federally recognized Indian tribe located in south central Minnesota said it was forced to activate IR protocols following an incident which was discovered on some systems connected to a jackpot junction, the local casino controlled by the tribe. The tribe continued to take measures to contain the incident, including taking some systems offline, like phones, fax machines, and emails. The tribe is working with third-party experts to address the incident with the goal of returning to normal operations as quickly and safely as possible. So, RansomHub has taken credit for the attack on Monday. This is the same ransomware gang that attacked the Salt tribe of Chippewa Indians in Michigan just in February of this year. So RansomHub is really kind of an offshoot of Lockbit and Alpha V, and they're really kind of starting to lead and increase their operations. They also have a type of malware called EDR Kill Shifter, which essentially kills your defenses on your endpoints and blinds the endpoint detection and response security systems so that they can actually go about their business. So ESET talking a lot about them. Go and see more on our website at cyberhubpodcast.com, which is a great place to support us, by the way. cyberhubpodcast.com. You can get if you go and you sign up, we send one email a day, pretty much 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Monday through Thursdays, the show summary. Friday, we have essentially the entire week's worth of shows. And then Saturday, if you're a paid subscriber, you get exclusive access to some of our higher end content. And then Sunday, there's a release of some of the higher end content from weeks prior to. So go check that out there. FTC Chairman Andrew Ferguson on Monday saying genetic testing company 23andMe, which started bankruptcy proceedings, must honor its data privacy and security commitments in any sale or transfer of individual personal data. 23andMe promises a number of protections for users and data statements posted on its website. The company has indicated since its bankruptcy filing, it will continue to honor its privacy representation in the process of securing a purchaser. This is the letter to acting U.S. trustee Jerry Jensen. The FCC believes that's consistent with what needs to happen. Again, the bankruptcy initiated in the Eastern District of Missouri to begin the process to substantially sell all of its assets. The company also announcing new leadership, tapping CFO Joe Savage to take on the added role of interim CEO after co-founder Anna Wojcicki resigned as CEO while staying on the board as the company looks to get bailed out some sort of way there. Cisco has announced fixes to 2 high-severity denial-of-service vulnerabilities that impacts its Meraki MX and Meraki Z-series devices and enterprise chat and email appliances. The Meraki bug already has a CVE 2025-20212. It was discovered in the AnyConnect VPN server and was the result of a variable not being initialized when establishing an SSL VPN session. An attacker with a valid VPN user credentials could supply crafted attributes when the SSL VPN was established and causing the AnyConnect VPN server to restart, forcing remote users to initiate new VPN connections, which will create a denial of service situation. Meraki MX firmware releases 18.107.12, 18.211.4, and 19.1.4 address the security defects. Devices running firmware versions 16.2 and 17 should be upgraded to the patch release. Earlier firmware releases are not affected. The second denial of service flaw resolved yesterday was CVE 2025-20139er and affects the chat messaging feature of ECE and could be exploited remotely and without authentication. This is an improper validation of user-supplied input and could allow an attacker to send malicious requests to chat entry point and cause the application to stop responding. So you want to make sure you get those patched up. The vulnerability in Verizon's call filter feature as allowing customers to access the incoming call logs for another Verizon number through an unsecured API. The flaw was discovered by security researcher Evan Conley in February of this year. It was fixed by Verizon sometime in the following month. However, the total period of exposure is unknown. The free version of the app comes pre-installed and enabled by default on eligible Android and iOS devices bought directly from Verizon. It's believed to be on millions of devices, so it's exposing call history. That's the risk there through an unsecured API. The GWT payload for the logged in user was not verified against the phone number whose incoming calls were requested. That's the vulnerability there. And as a result, any user could send requests using their own valid JWT token and replace the X sequence MDN header value with another Verizon phone to retrieve their incoming call history. So there's that there. So Is it poor security, or is it just over? Again, managing a large enterprise is difficult. Managing all your different APIs requires a lot of effort. So something to keep in mind there. And I'm not defending Verizon by any sort of chance here. That's just a huge oversight. And by the way, it's likely that these different product teams are set up in different silos, and because they're siloed, no one actually checks it. That's also a possibility. Cybersecurity researchers disclosing a new vulnerability impacting Google's quick share data file utility for Windows that could be exploited to achieve a denial of service or even send arbitrary files to a targeted device without their approval. CVE 2024-10668 has a CVSS score 5.9er. It's a bypass for 2 of the 10 shortcomings that were originally disclosed by Safe Breach Labs in August of 2024 under the name QuickShell. It's been addressed in QuickShare for Windows version 1.0.2002.2, the following responsible disclosure in August of 2024. They've now shored it up, so you want to make sure you get that updated. And finally, a busy month in March for mergers and acquisitions in cybersecurity. Obviously, the big one was Google Cloud acquiring Wiz in a landmark $32 billion deal, but also Armis acquiring Otario in the OT and CBS cyber physical system space for around $120 million. Other notables is ForcePoint to acquire Get Visibility, Integrity 360 acquired Halicium, and Jamf acquired Identity Automation. There's also Nightwing acquiring Aroka Security and so much more. So many deals. F5 acquired Leak Signal. 23 total deals just last month in M&A, just showing you how the industry is consolidating, how it's no longer best in breed, it's best in suite. That's where everyone is aiming at. That's what CISOs want. They want to be able to have, I hate to say it, please don't make fun of me, it's still pane of glass, essentially, of looking at everything. And that's why it's there. So congratulations to the acquirers and the acquired. And obviously, Wiz setting the benchmark at $32 billion in an all-cash deal. Good for Wiz. Right? So there's that. That's it for our show this morning. We'll be back Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, live with all the latest and greatest. Tomorrow, go check out our website, cyberhubpodcast.com. This week's summary, a special article on Saturday morning. If you have not subscribed there, make sure to do so right now. And yeah, that's it. Most importantly, y'all, stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.